Alright guys, this week we're going to be working on long I and short I, and we're going to be using these kind of patterns that we're going to talk about briefly with us. We're going to be using what's called that vowel consonant vowel, an IGH sound, a Y sound, an IE, and an I. All of these right here make what's known as the long I sound. So we're going to be reading these, and while we read them, I want you to notice, hey, does it make that sound or does it not? You'll notice it's going to also be a little bit different because we're going to be reading the section that we've already read. So let's get started. I'm going to read these first two paragraphs for us, and while I read them, I want you guys to think, what vowel sound am I hearing with that I? "Away with you, vile insect," said a lion angrily to a gnat that buzzed around its head. But the gnat was not in the least stirred. "Do you think," he said spitefully to the lion, "that I am afraid of you because they call you king?" Now, there's some words that I heard in here. This word vile, this word lion, and this word king. And one of the things I noticed right away is they all have an I in them. So I'm going to wonder about that sound that I hear in it. Vile. I hear a long I sound. I hear that I in vile. Now, a short I is going to be that is sound, like in bit, it. It doesn't make that it sound in vile. What about in lie? Lie. I hear that long I sound also, and we show that long I by holding a little line on top sometimes. Now, what I also notice is there's some other words in here as well. So the long I sound in the word vile is made using the vowel, consonant, silent E pattern. So notice how there's a vowel first, that I, a consonant, which is something that's not an I. It's that L sound, or that L, and then there's that silent E. So that pattern is going to do a long I sound. When a vowel is followed by a consonant, and then letter E, the first vowel makes the long vowel sound. So in this case, it makes that long I sound. Now, there's other patterns we have, like IGH. Like we have that word high. I also hear that long I sound in high. So when I is followed by GH, it makes that long I sound. We have a word like Y also. That Y right here by itself makes that I sound. We also have IE that we'll see, and we have just an I by itself. So an example I can think off the top of my head is high makes that I sound by itself. So let's keep going and see what else we can find. Now, we also have something like the long I sound a word made by the letter I by itself, like in high, but it's going to be like this word lion. Notice how lion is a little bit different. I see two syllables in it, lie, un. That I right here is making a long I sound by itself. It's not a vowel consonant silent E, it's not GH, it's not a Y, there's not an E after it. So this is also another example of that I making a long I sound by itself. Now let's keep going, and we see this word king that we circled at the very beginning, right here, king. What sound do you hear in king? Is it an I sound or an I sound? Let's try with that long I sound. I can't even say it. So I don't think it's a long I sound. So let's start with that I sound. So what do we notice here? It's making that short I sound. Note that the short I sound can also be found in words like it, that we see a lot. It can be found in words like in his, and in little, little. Now, if we're ever unsure, just come back to it, because we're going to recognize a lot of words as we go on, and so if we're not sure about it, come back to it. Now, we're going to look at a long I, short I chart really fast, and we're not going to worry so much about the patterns this time, like GI or IGH, IEI. We're just going to put them in long I, short I. So I found some words that we're going to type up, and you guys are going to tell me they're from this story if you think they're long I's or short I's. So let's erase this all really fast. And these are the words that I found. So I found the word vile, I found the word king, I found the word victory, found the word fight, I found the word lion, I found the word pride, found the word instead. So let's see where those will go. Now notice when I get out, they're going to stay right there. So I need to put them in their correct categories. So where do we think this long I would go? Well, we already said vile is going to be a long I sound. And we already said king is going to be a short vowel sound. That's short I. So let's put king in here. And then we're going to keep going. Victory. It makes that I sound like in bit. So victory is going to go in this section, in that short I. Now what about fight? I. That makes that long I sound. I hear I in it. And I also notice it has that IGH pattern. I'm going to need to put a space there just because this font likes to combine that F and I. So I just put a space so we can see it's separate. Now, what about lion? Well, we already heard that I in there. I. So it's that long I sound when I is by itself. Pride. I. That I, I'm also hearing in pride. And it's that vowel consonant silent E at the end. Our last one is instead. Notice instead is almost exactly the same as the word in. It just has that ending part stead. And we know in makes that I sound. Like in bit, like in already. So that's going to be a short I sound. Now, I have some more words for us that I want you to think about. What about the word, oops, not that word. What about the word insect? What about the word spider and terribly? Where do you think these ones would go? Insect, spider, and terribly. Well, let's look at them. Insect. It's like instead. It has that in also with it. So insect makes that it sound. What do we hear in spider? I hear that I by itself. And that's like this lion part. Because that I is saying it by itself. It doesn't have that consonant vowel, or that vowel consonant silent E. It doesn't have IGH. No, terribly. Terribly is also a short I sound. So I'm just going to put terribly here, but I ran out of space, so it's just going to share that same section with insect. So that's what it looks like for these. There's many more we can find there. Now what I'm going to show you guys next is our spelling words for the week. So your spelling words are obviously going to be with the long vowel for I and the short vowel. So our spelling words this week are crocodile, terrified, ordinary, right, gigantic, 66, lying, and admitted. So think about those words. Think about, do they have long I or short I? Because that's going to help you when we do our spelling to see which patterns they follow. All right, guys, good luck.